Hi everyone, and welcome to Terry's Creation Station. I'm excited to work with you on another project today, and Merry Christmas, y'all. Look what I found at Hobby Lobby. This is just a really cute, this is all the rage this year, the buffalo plaid, and it's got a snowflake on it. We are going to incorporate this into a Christmas design. So it's not that big. I think it's like 7 inches or so is what these measurements on the back are saying. But very lightweight, so this will work really good in our design. When I went through Hobby Lobby to pick out coordinating things for this sign, I started with this focal point, and let me just show you what we're going to be working with. I, of course, had to have some snowballs because it's got a snowflake on there. So these are lightweight, sort of cotton snowballs. We'll put a few of those in there most likely. And just because I show it to you doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to use it. We'll just kind of figure that out as we go. They had some really adorable snowflake picks. So we'll use those. Again, Hobby Lobby. Most everything that you'll see in this project did come from Hobby Lobby. And then some just regular snow picks. We may or may not use those. Let's see. This garland, look how perfect this works with this sign. I mean, it's just almost like they were made for each other. And so I'm going to incorporate, I got 2 of those, and I'm going to incorporate that into what we're doing. Then I picked up this wired ribbon, and it's got snow on it, as you can see. And I think just for some extra texture, we're going to weave some of this into our wreath, okay? I love this. It just gives a lot more dimension to it. Our base is going to be just a regular evergreen PVC wreath that I love to use these right around the holidays. And I got this particular one at Home. So, but you can pick these up. They're readily available at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, anywhere. So this will be our base we're going to work with. And then finally, I picked up some ribbon. This one came from Hobby Lobby. This buffalo plaid. And again, look how perfect these work together. Really nice. And then I'm going to incorporate some of this burlap with the black on it because the garland has burlap in it. So when you're picking out your elements, sort of think about they all work together in that design. And then finally, I had this ribbon in my stash, and I did not get this at Hobby Lobby. This is from a supplier. And again, this is just a perfect combination. It was almost like these were just made to be used together. So first, we are going to make a bow. And you're probably sitting there thinking, what kind of bow is she going to make? And to answer your question, we are going to make a Terri bow. Now, this Terri bow is, you can find it on YouTube, the directions for it. I'm going to kind of quickly go through it. For those of you that need more detailed instructions, please go to YouTube or to my channel, and you can find all of the videos that we've done there, plus the one that we did for the Terri bow. And I think it's been watched like a lot. So you can also go to Regina Sellers' Pro Bow the Hand, and you can find a video or 2 there. She's done several. Now, what I'm doing here is simply cutting a piece of wire, actually 2 pieces of wire, the width of my board. And that's just a guideline. You can make it longer or whatever your preference is. But I'm going to show you how quickly this is going to go through. We're just going to get this bow done first. The Terri bow is really fun to use in a lot of different designs. So I'm going to use one of the wires here. I'm going to start with my first ribbon, which is this 2.5 inch. I'm going to chevron the end or dovetail it. Some people call it dovetail. Let me find my scissors. I'm just going to cut that at an angle. Open it there. I usually go to row, like the third row for my tails, and start crimping right here. This is your beginning. Now we're going to take our wire, wrap it around that ribbon just a couple of times. Okay, now we're going to take it, push it up against this, they call these fingers in the Pro Bow world. We're going to wrap the wire around the top, and then there's a little nail down here that we're going to put this other piece on. And that's just to simply secure it for you. We're going to wrap our first loop, come back to the center post and gather it. Always make sure you keep that ribbon in this center position. Then we're going to give it a twist. And in the Pro Bow videos, they'll say bottoms up, and that's what that means, is you're going to twist the bottom of the ribbon up to the top. All right, so here we go. You could make a different kind of bow. You don't necessarily have to do the Terri bow, but I'm kind of partial to it, to be honest. Okay, so now we're going to use our helping wire, and I know I cut it, and it probably fell on the floor. So let's just cut another one, no big deal. The nice thing about the Pro Bow is I can let go of my hands. It's not gonna, oh, it's there. I might need to put my glasses on. My director said, there it is, silly girl. Okay, there it is. Nice. Now you might, I'm getting my glasses handed in. I have like pairs of glasses everywhere. Okay, so we're starting out, and I want you to see how quickly this is going to go. And you know this is glitter season, so we've got glitter flying everywhere in my shop. Okay, we're going to go with the next. All of these are going to be 2.5. When you do a Terri bow, you can mix the widths, and it gives a little bit of variety. So again, it's just a personal preference, whatever you like, whatever you have available to make your bow. Or if you want to make a completely different bow, do it. When I teach you these videos or give them to you instruction wise, just know that they're a guide. They're a guideline for you to use in your own particular project. You don't have to do everything exactly the way I do it. And that's where your own creativity comes through. So we're only going to use 3 different ribbon. We're going to repeat them twice. And that's the beauty of the Terri bow. You can do many variations of it. Okay, so now we're going to cut this off. We're going to go to our buffalo check. This has been so popular. It came out a couple of 3 years ago, and it has really been a design that has pleased a lot of people, a lot of outdoorsy kind of people that like the deer and the rustic look. So I thought I would do this for all the fans of this type of style. It's not necessarily my style, but as a designer, you have to do all kind of things, different things. Okay, so we're just going to do 1 loop around each one of these. Tie it off. Now I could have done all this ahead of time, but I really kind of wanted you to see the project in total. And then we're just going to repeat those ribbons 3 times, actually twice, but 3 ribbons twice. Okay. You know, the Terri bow, when I created it, was mainly using scrap ribbon. And I have found that I rarely use scrap ribbon. I need to kind of get back in that habit, because that's why I created it, so you could use up some of your ribbon pieces. And Lord knows I've got a few pieces around. Alright, so I love the snowflake one, and it matches the sign just perfect. Now, we don't get a lot of snow where I'm at, and it's probably a good thing, because nobody knows how to drive in it, or schools get shut down and all of that. But we like to think about it. We have gotten it occasionally, and then get to play in the 1 inch that we get, and then it's gone. It melts by the end of the day. I like this combination together. So play off your materials when you pick them out, and just make sure they're kind of all working together. So much to choose from nowadays. Okay, the Terri bow is almost finished. This is going to be coming up our last ribbon. Cut this off. Okay, and our final ribbon is the buffalo. So I'm just kind of measuring my tail all the way to this outside post. And center it up. I bet if you make this, it sells really quickly, because everybody's kind of clamoring for this particular buffalo plaid stuff. And we'll see how long it lasts. So far it's been several years, so. Okay, that is all there is to it. I'm going to move this out of the way. Now once you get to this point on the Terri bow, we're just going to push on the wire right here, and I just kind of push it in toward that post to compact it somewhat. And then let me get my fluff box. You take the top wire off and the bottom wire that's on the little nail, little nail, and then we're going to bring those 2 wires together and give it a really tight twist. And then you just kind of take those 4 wires and pull them all together. If you remove the center post, it just lets you easily remove the entire bow. So let's get rid of this one and fluff this bow out. Now we won't do a final fluff on the bow until we get through with the project, but I do want you to see it before we get started. You're going to fluff it from the bottom up. And so what we were trying to accomplish here is we want the loops to be across from each other and the tails to be across from each other. So when you undo it and shift them around, see, these loops are across from each other. These loops are here, and then the tails are across from each other. Now we're going to take the next one and move the tail over kind of where this loop is. So you're trying to spread them apart, not have them right next to each other. And this goes fairly quickly. And the fluff box just allows you to be able to secure it and not have to hold on to everything and air fluff it, because that gets tricky. All right. So you wouldn't think that this burlap would work with these colors, but it totally does. It works. And we're going to bring this tail right there, move it around, and there we have it. Is our finished Terri bow. Again, I'm not too concerned about where everything is as far as placement, because we're going to put this on the project, on the wreath itself, and then it'll get a final fluff out. Okay. All right, our Terri bow is done. Okay, let's get our wreath going now. I went ahead before we got started and just fluffed the greenery out. Make sure you give it some attention before you get started. That way it's not just flat. So just move your branches up and down. This particular one came from At Home, and it was $14.99. So, and sometimes they'll run things on sale, so you can get that. And I know Hobby Lobby has them for 40% off. So let me get this tag off. There we go. Now what I'm going to do to start is we're going to put the garland in. This came from At Home. We may actually only need one of these. Let's see. Yeah, by the time we put our bow on, I think we're only going to need one. So we'll have another for another project. Yay! But I went ahead and bought two because I didn't know how it was going to work, if we were going to be needing it or not. So all I'm going to do is just weave this burlap garland with the buffalo check in around the wreath itself. Now it has this little hanger here, so I could use it and just tie it on there. You can also use the greenery from the wreath itself to tie it on there. You can zip tie it if you want. But I want it kind of loose, so I'm not going to push it down too far into the greenery. I want it a little bit on top. So to do that, I'm just going to loosely find one of the stems from the frame and just kind of wrap it around loosely. Okay, because I want it looking somewhat random like that. You could almost just use this if you wanted a really simple design. If you're trying to sell something that is very inexpensive, you could put this garland on here, put the bow, and price this to sell, and your customer would be able to get this for hardly any money. I mean, make sure you make some money on it, but you don't have to put a whole lot on it. Just do that and then start on something else. But you know, because I'm doing it, we're going to put a lot of stuff on here. Yes, we are. Now, it's okay too. You're probably looking at this burlap going, oh my gosh, it's all coming apart and it's fraying and it's... Don't worry about it. That's the look you want. It's got to look rustic and old. And I can tell I'm already getting a lot of these burlap fibers on me. I try to dress up a little bit for you when I'm doing my videos. I don't want to look like a little slob like I normally am in my shop. Okay, so here we go. We've gone completely around. And then let me take this final piece and tie it off. Yeah, so that's going to be good. We're going to be able to use that other piece for another project. This was, let's see how much, $9.99, 40% off of that garland. So that's not too bad. All right, let me get my pliers. Oh, that was not good. I just made it fray a little bit. Okay, now I've got a good knot on it. Okay, so here we go. And we've got a place for the bow right here. And I think we're going to go ahead and put that bow on so we can work around it. Now, I like to use this tinsel rope, especially when you're using an evergreen PVC. You can use this and it blends right in with your wreath base and it doesn't show. So I'm going to cut a piece of this off to tie my bow instead of just tying it with the wire, because I want it really secure, and I find that this is a good way to do that. Okay, so we're going to take this wire that I used to make the bow and just get rid of it. Okay. Now we're going to take the tinsel wire, and right where the other wire went that I used to make the bow, I'm just going to follow that same path. So you find your wire in there and then just move the tails out of the way. So here's my wire. It's going that way. That's how we built it. And I'm going to make sure that I move this all around and follow the wire straight through. And the main reason I do that is because I don't want to get some of these loops all crimped in under there and messed up. So I'm just going to take this tinsel wire, wrap it around the frame, twist it around. Now don't pull it too tight, because we want that sitting on top of the wreath and not buried down inside of it. Now that's really a good secure bow in there. And like I said, look how pretty this is. You could get away with just selling this one, depending on where you want your bow. You could have it at the top or on the side or over on the right side. And this would be a fun wreath to just sell that way. But no, Terry's got to put a lot more in here. Why not? Why not? If you've got the stuff, and we've got the stuff. Okay, let's put the sign on next. And I don't always do this exactly in the same order every time. It just depends on what I'm working on. So I can't always say put the bow first or put this first or put that first. Okay, now we have to decide where we want the bow. Do we want it on the left side? Do we want it at 11 o'clock? Which is usually the place I put it, you know, as far as positioning. Or you could do it at the top, or you could do it on the right side. I tend to gravitate so that it goes over to the left. So at about 11 o'clock is the bow, and then this would be 12 o'clock. So what I like to do, if the top of my bow is here, I like to put something there that tells me that's the top of my bow. So what I'm gonna do, let me put a little marker right there, that's it. Get a piece of tinsel rope or get a piece of pipe cleaner or something that you can identify. This is the top of your wreath. So you'll be glad you did this later. And this will help you identify how to position it. And don't worry too much about your bow. We're going to do a final on it here in a little bit. Okay, sign. The sign is that MDF material. And we are going to staple the tinsel wire on here to adhere it to our wreath. So now we just have to decide where we want the placement. Here's the top. So if this is the top, we need to decide where we want the sign. So I'm thinking probably right in this area, right here. And so when you position it in there, make sure you figure out where you're going to need to tie your tinsel tie or staple it. So I'm thinking it's going to need to kind of be where the hanger is anyway. So let's go ahead and staple this tinsel wire. And the staple gun is about the only tool that my husband, that David, will let me use. I do have a drill, but you know, he limits my power tools, which is probably a good idea. Okay, I'm gonna cut a good piece. Let's see how long that is. That's about 12 inches. And okay, now I'm gonna staple it on the inside here. Actually, I'm going to staple it on the side because I want to pull it from that way. Alright, so I'm just going to take it right there. Hope I've got staples in here. Just give it a couple of staples. And look, it's going to stay on there really nice. Now, do make sure that your staples are not going to go through to the other side. That's always an issue. So if you need to get a smaller staple for the sign, then make sure you do that. Let me staple this other one. And that's in there really secure. So there we have it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put this in. I'm going to kind of position it and then bring it down and put it on. So here are my ties, and I'm just going to wrap it around the back. And I am going to kind of pull this a little bit tight, and I probably see I cut way too much. But you don't throw these pieces away, use them for other things. So once we cut it off, we'll save those for something else. Okay, that's on there. And the bow is just all kind of messed up, but again, don't worry too much. Now you can also position your sign sideways. It gives you a little flexibility because it's just tied on the back. So if you wanted to move it in this orientation, you could, and not have it just straight up and down. It gives you that flexibility. Okay, now let's add some more. What can we put now? Y'all are thinking, no. Okay, let's put some of these snowballs. Which are fun. And these are nice because you can use sticks to put in there. And some of those non-breakable or shatterproof or plastic, and you can't really put the right kind of stick on them. Now they do have these hangers, but I don't trust these hangers. I just don't. So we're going to use some tinsel rope. Actually, we're going to use this green because we want it to blend in with the wreath itself. So I'm just going to cut a little piece. This one, let's see, is about 8 inches. I am going to use the pick machine on this one, so I'm going to just put a little pick on the end. We've got a pick on the end, and let's cut off this filament. It's like fishing line. Let's just cut it off. You see, you just throw it over your shoulder. And then I'm going to take this pick that I put on the end, put a little glue on it, and just pick a place to stick it in, like so. And if it kind of hangs up, use your needle nose and just push it in, okay? Now we're going to pick a spot to put this in. Just going to randomly choose a spot to start putting these in. Go ahead and fish it to the back of your wreath. And don't pull it too tight because we do want some three-dimensional look to the snowballs being kind of out and up. Okay, it's not going to come off, so let's just continue and do a few more of these. In fact, I'm probably going to use all of them. Okay. And just a little piece of this tinsel wire. This tinsel wire is good to use also at the holidays when you're putting on garlands or trying to, you need to get that a little bit closer, okay. Put mantle pieces together really is handy. Okay, let's just stick these in. And with that glue on there, they're not going to come off. Okay, I'm just going to kind of zigzag these instead of being all in a row. Y'all know how I hate things just in a row. So, zigzag it around your wreath. Okay. I think when you see how easy this is, you're going to be excited to try it yourself. If you don't have a pick machine, you can fish through a piece of pipe cleaner, just using a needle, or not a needle, but an awl, or poke it in there somehow, and it'll work just as well. You can always glue it. I'm not a fan of gluing this kind of element, mainly because there is the chance that it's going to come out. So I'm just putting this in through the frame. And look, instead of tying it back on itself, I'm going to pick one. This is the coming out of the ornament, and this is just part of the wreath base. I'm just going to twist it like that. Okay? And that's how it stays. Okay, let's put one right here under the sign. This may just be a southern thing, but it seems like it's kind of all over the country, this buffalo plaid. Especially up in those areas that have a lot of hunting and mountains and things like that. So I'm going to put this one right here kind of under the sign. And again, here's the bottom of the ornament. I'm just going to twist it around. See how easy that is? It's not going anywhere. Will not go anywhere. Okay, this is going to work out perfect because I've got 2 left. Totally not planned. I didn't plan that. Sometimes all the stars and all the planets just line up. Okay, now this one was kind of right there, so I'm going to make this one more toward the inside. And then the final one I'm going to do on the opposite. Some of this you just do by feel. Kind of feel your way through. Wrap it around. Okay, this is going to be my final one, and I'm wondering if I even need it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I'm not going to use it. Just because I have it doesn't mean you have to use it. Okay, so here's what we have. Pay attention how awful that bow is right now. It needs to be fluffed out. But it'll be fine once we get done. So I think I kind of like the sign a little bit off to that way. And then we have our snowballs. Okay, let's put some snow picks. Also, I have these. Now these have a wire base or stem. So let's think how we're going to put these on here. We don't need all of this, so I think I'm going to trim it off. And y'all, I got a stem cutter, which I'm so excited about. Look at that. It just did it. It makes me want to just cut all these stems on my wall in here. Well worth the money. So I'm just going to put some of these in here now because this is a really tough stem, I'm going to just bend it with my pliers, needle nose pliers around. Let me turn it around so you can see what we're going to do. Okay, here it is. Here it is. You see it's white. So I'm going to take my needle nose. Oh my gosh, look how gunky those are. That's a true designer who has gunky. You know what? Let me get my big ones. Now we're really serious. I'm just going to wrap that around the frame of the wreath base. Okay? See what I did? Just twisted it around. Twist it around. And then here it is. It's not going to go anywhere. I mean, it would have to be a major hurricane for that sucker to come loose. Now, don't be too worried about this being perfectly in a spot. You can bend it, you can shape it around, and just kind of random. Let's see how many of these I bought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Look how happy I am with my stem cutter. Are y'all excited for me? Watch, here goes. Just makes me happier than I don't know what. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one maybe right here. Turn it around to the back. There it is. What the heck is that? Oh, wire. And then I'm just going to wrap it around the frame. You don't have to see the whole snowflake. It's kind of implied. This is an implied snowflake. But see how I, snowflake. See how I did it kind of opposite? So I didn't have this one on the inside. I had it on the outside. And we'll alternate that positioning. Okay. Let's come up here. Because this one was on the outside, I'm going to go kind of in the middle with this one. Okay, there's my frame. There's my pick. And you're just repeating this same step over and again. This one's going to photograph so pretty. I can't wait to get a photograph of this. Okay, so let's put a few up around the bow. This one was on the inside, so let's go to our outside position. There it is. Let's crimp it around. Now make sure you tuck them in, because the worst thing that could happen is you could scratch your customer's door. So make sure that the end of this gets pushed back in toward your inside of your wreath. You don't want to damage anybody's door. Just a little tip. Don't want that to happen. Okay, we're going to put some of this up above the bow itself. And cut it. Okay. Let's put one on the center, like coming into the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect as far as the placement of it. And if you put your elements in here really well, you can sling it around however you want to do your final fluff, and things are not going to come apart. Isn't that cool? Yes, it's cool. Okay, let's put one right there. And we use 6 total. Put one coming up out of the bow. We can get some really good grip strength doing that. Okay, let's look and see what we have so far. Find where your hanger is. Let's find where that is so we can hang it up properly. And then of course this bow has got to have some help, but my sign's gotten a little wonky. There we go. Okay. What else did we get to put in here? We got some more snow branches. So I have these that we can use. Let's just scatter a few of these in there. And then I have these branches, which are kind of cool. So we may add some more snowy elements. And this is about finished. I mean, that's how quickly it goes. Let's go ahead and add a few of these snow branches, and we're just going to put them in different placements than the snowflakes. And let's see what kind of, this is plastic. Okay, here's another example of what we're going to have to do. This is a plastic stem. It's not going to bend back on itself. So I'm going to have to pick it. And I'm extremely happy that this had a different configuration, because I want to show you how to accomplish securing this one. Okay, we're going to take it and put just a little bit of glue. And then I'm going to stick it in. Let me get rid of this wire. I'm just going to stick it in randomly into the wreath. Now I'm going to go around and find it. There it is. And remember, these are extremely sharp. Caution. Please do not touch it with your bare fingers, because it will cut you worse than a razor. So we're just going to bend it back on itself, much like we did the other one that had a wire. And that's how you secure a plastic. Now these do have some wire in this part of it themselves, so you can shape it somewhat. All right, let's see how many I have of these. Yeah, but you couldn't just stick this plastic in there and wrap it around. It won't work. It won't stay. It won't stay for you. So I'm going to stick this in right here. I'm going to go back to the back and find it where it was that I stuck it through. Sometimes it's like oh, there it is. So you can either wrap it onto the frame, or you can simply wrap it onto one of the branches. So here's one of the branches. I think I'll just wrap it around that. And there it is. I like that snowy look too. Okay, let's see where I put my last one. Let's go up here. Put this one. Okay, it's on the back. See, I can wrap it around that bottom frame. And you can tug on it, it's not going to come out. Y'all probably thinking, look at that bow, it's so pitiful. It's not going to be. We're going to take care of it. It's going to be all right. Let's see how many more of these we have. Quite a few. But look, see how I'm doing this random, putting these just kind of all different directions. Don't think you have to line them up like little soldiers in formation. Okay, there's that one. Let's put one right here. So I'm going to kind of go underneath the bow a little bit. Turn it over. And if you have to take it and wiggle it to find out where it is, see, like you might want to, there it is right there. It's kind of like Where's Waldo? You have to keep looking. I think we need one right here, now that I'm looking at it. Oh, it went through some of the fabric. That's okay. Don't worry about it. This is supposed to be fun. Don't get all stressed out. You can do it. What's the worst that could happen? Not gonna kill you. Okay. Let's do a few more of these. We're winding down. We're almost finished. Yeah, I think I'm going to put one there. So, I mean, you can just keep putting stuff in, but you know the more you put in, the more expensive it's going to be. So if you have a customer that really needs something that's moderately priced, you could have stopped earlier with just the garland and the bow and not even put the sign on there. Or just the garland and the bow and the sign. And then it would have been a very nice design for cheap. Or less money. It's not going to be cheap. And I look like I've been snowed on. Wearing black when you're doing a snow design may not be the best idea. But I wanted to look pretty for y'all. I don't don't know why I keep picking up these little bitty. I need to just put them in my drawer and not use them. Okay. Let's see what we got. I think we need something right under the sign coming out. Or maybe even right here going in. Just place it in there before you pick it and then get an idea of where you might want to put it. So I think I'm going to put it right here on the inside. Coming out. There it is. I'm just going to wrap it around this frame. That one got glue stuck on it. Now, if you want, you can take one of these branches and kind of put it on top of there, just in case if it might have a tendency to scratch your customer's door. Same thing like here, just take one of the branches and just kind of pinch it around it, and that way it'll protect the door, because we don't want to scratch them. Okay, what have we got? Let's put it up and look at it. Get a better idea when you get it in this position, because then you can kind of see where you might need to add something. So I think we need one of these right kind of here coming out. So let's do that. Look at it from different angles so you get an idea. I'm thinking right here. Yeah, that's perfect. There it is. I did a video one time and this lady goes, "Boy, Terry, you just sling things around." And I thought, well, I guess I do. But if you have it on here securely enough, you don't have to worry about that. It will be just fine. So I think we need one there because it seems a little empty. And of course the bow needs shaping out. We need one there, which is perfect because I have one left. Just one. Not two, not three, just one. One. I'm trying to make sure I don't cut myself. Where is it going? Okay, I see it. Okay, let me crimp that one. Y'all, we are getting close to being finished. Here it is right here. Now, if you ever feel like it's just not real sturdy there or doesn't feel secure, all you have to do is put a little shot of glue on that spot just to give you a little more assurance that it's going to stay put. Okay? All right, one final look. Go ahead and pull these strands out on the garland because we've kind of messed them up. And don't get worried about all these spraying edges. That's the look that we're going for. Now let's get this bow some help. I love it. I think it's turned out really, really good. And this is not, again, my certain aesthetic. I'm not really this style, but I like, for Christmas, I kind of like the whimsical, traditional kind of Christmassy stuff. All the reds and greens, but this is cute. This is really, really cute. And I think the burlap just added a little bit, break up some of that red. And you can just play with your sign and see how you want it to stay. It's not going to come off, but you need to shift it however you want it to look. I think that's a cute place to use it. Okay, let me take it off and show you one more time. What do y'all think? I think it turned out really good. All the colors work nicely together, and it was an easy design to accomplish. I think you'll have good luck in doing it. And thanks for joining us for another tutorial in Terri's Creation Station. Until next time, we'll see you soon.